Okay, members of the press, I am delighted that you have been able to come to my house. I don't take it for granted. Please feel free to be at home. The statement I'm about to make is on behalf of the NYAGAH family, and this is the official position that I'll be giving. And I want to begin on a very, very short journey of Joe's sickness before I come to the final program. Joe fell sick, admitted in hospital on the 17th of November, and was in hospital until the 11th when he died. He stayed at home for a week, unwell, didn't go to the hospital. By the time he got there, it was detected that it was COVID-19. After 2 weeks in ICU, he then tested negative on a number of times, and they moved him to the normal ICU at the Nairobi hospital, where visitors then were allowed to go and see him. The rest is history because he is now with his maker. The journey has been long. The family has lost our leader, but we have accepted that at some point, as the Bible says, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, that there is a time and a season to everything. This was the time for Joe to go and reunite with his maker. All I do, pray and wish, is that he had reconciled with his maker like I have done, that any day when I go, I hope Joe had reconciled. Now, the funeral will be held in our Mbeere home, in Joe's house, in Joe's homestead, where we have a designated burial site, where my parents are buried, my grandfather and my brother. Joe's wish was to be buried next to our grandfather Joseph. And his wish was that his head should face the hills of Mbeere. And we have acceded to that request that he put in his will. The funeral will officially begin at 11 o'clock at the gravesite. And we are requesting members of the public to be seated by 9 o'clock on that particular day. We will strictly observe the COVID rules. We will do whatever it takes to ensure that nobody contracts COVID from that area. And therefore, we have a lot of public health people that will be around to ensure that people are washed, temperatures taken, and sanitized, and that they are seated at the designated open tent seats. We realize that we're expecting a big crowd, but we have done restrictions so that we can have probably 1,000 people, bearing in mind that many of his friends who would have wished to come will not be able to make it because they either have barriers like we do, or they're scared of COVID, or they're healing from COVID. We have received a lot of condolence messages from all over the world. As you know, Joe had very many friends all over, and therefore we have created a link where we will be able to interact with them directly through the link, where people will be able to follow the entire funeral procession. We also have one of the medias, I will not mention which one it is, in case some of you feel that you're going to be left out, or probably the best thing is for me to mention so that you can also do the same. It will be aired live by Citizen TV, Royal Media. I pray, hope and wish that other media houses will follow suit and do the same. We would be most delighted to get that honor from you. In the meantime, from tomorrow, my homestead will be the area where people will be coming to bring in their condolences. We are going to pitch a tent right behind me. bearing in mind that we have these COVID rules that we must observe. We shall observe that. And we do not want to lose another member of the family from this. So if we are very strict on that particular day, we hope that we'll be forgiven. It is good for everybody that we do not have another burial after this one. Our burial ceremony, our matanga ceremony will be beginning strictly at 5 o'clock to 6:30. And in Nairobi, again on appointment, we are receiving guests in his house, and we are trying to stagger the people who are coming in to avoid anybody contracting this deadly disease. And I think for now, we are almost ready to go. We are expecting many visitors. We are expecting many dignitaries coming in, and we are working round the clock to ensure that the burial will be befitting to my big brother Joe. And as you have seen, I'm sure you have seen certain developments since you've been to the burial site, that we are trying our very best. I also want to recognize the help that we have received both from the President of the Republic of Kenya, my brother Uhuru Kenyatta, and his Deputy President, my brother William Ruto, and the entire government fraternity, whether it's Ministry of Health, whether it's Office of the President, whether it's Public Works, and everybody. They have been very helpful. They have given us a helping hand at any time when we have needed it. And we want to eternally thank them and remember the government for a long time to come. Thank you. Kenyan politicians are interested. When I was a big man in politics, I never uttered a political word in any forum that I went to. I am not going to shut people's mouths when they come to Joe's burial. He did not ask me to restrict any political statements being done. But my wish, again, and I would request, let us have a solemn day where is devoid of political utterances that may divide the people of Kenya. Let us, Joe's funeral, let it be one that unites Kenyans. In as far as there are very important people coming in, I guess I'm a very important person as the chief government whip, as a very powerful man. The fact that I've retired doesn't mean that I'm not an important Kenyan. I have shaped this country. But we will have many VIPs, and I'm not at liberty. I do not have permission to make that pronouncement as the people who will be here, but there will be heavyweights in Joe's funeral. I have had a conversation with all those. I've had the president called me when it happened, the deputy president called me when it happened, the prime minister called me when it happened, Mudavadi, Kalonzo, the works of them. All of them have called me, and I'm in communication with them. But I'm not at liberty to be able to say as to whether they are going to come or not. All I have said, and I'm telling the nation, there'll be heavyweights in this funeral. And I think that is good enough. Please don't pressurize on me. Please, please. Kuhusu yale mambo, ndugu yangu marehemu alikuwa ameyasema mbeleni kabla hajakufa. Mwanzo alikuwa amesema wakati pahala atalazwa kichwa kikitazama milima ya Mbeere. Manake babu yake alitoka Mbeere. Babu alikuwa anatuelezea shida, hatari yoyote ikitokea, huko ndiko tutakwenda kutorokea. Nakumbuka wakati wa 1982, wakati Kenyatta 1978, that's when Kenyatta died. Nilipopigia baba simu, nikimtafuta, nikaenda kwake nyumbani Kangaru, nikamkosa. Nilikumbuka vile babu alikuwa anatuelezea, na kusema ukweli, baba alikuwa ametorokea huko katika ile milima ya huko Kiambere, na nikamkuta huko na nikamrudisha na nikampeleka Nairobi State House. Sasa naye Joe anataka kufuata yale ambayo yalikuwa yamesemwa na babu. Ya pili alisema hataki sisi kama jamii kumnunulia suti mpya, ile yeye mwenyewe alijipima akaona ndio nzuri, hiyo ndio nataka tumvalishe. Ya tatu, juu maisha yake yote akiwa mbunge, akiwa raia wa kawaida wa hali ya chini kama mimi vile nilivyo kwa sasa, akiwa presidential candidate, alikuwa amesema kinaganaga, alikuwa na yeye mwenyewe alikuwa amesema kwa wafanyikazi wake, mama, hakuna mtu atampigia shati yake pasi. Yeye mwenyewe ndio alikuwa anajipigia, na vile amekwenda kabla hajaipiga, na hatutaki kumweka na ile shati ambayo haijapigwa vizuri. Kijana wake wa kwanza ambaye anaitwa babangu Jeremiah Nyaga, yeye ndiye atampigia hiyo. Ya mwisho na ya nne, pia alikuwa amesema hataki watu kwenda kumtazama akiwa katika jeneza, isipokuwa ni jamii wale ambao wako na nguvu ya kuona. Lakini nataka kuhakikishia, kwa sababu alikifa mimi nikiweko katika hiyo chumba ya ICU, alikufa bila uchungu, polepole polepole polepole, moyo ukasimama. Mimi mwenyewe, ile heshima nyingine ambayo sijaisema, mimi mwenyewe ndiye nilimfunga macho, nikafunga macho mpaka nikaacha macho yamefungika, na pia nikamfunga mdomo, akawa Joe Nyaga, the handsome man. Wale Kenya wanajua. You know, Joe used to say, I am the handsome one and Norman Nyaga is a mapengo. Thank you.
The Atriums ni hoteli yenye mandhari tulivu na viwango vya hali ya juu, huku huduma bora zikitolewa na wahudumu waliobobea kwenye fani hii, kwa huduma kama vile malazi, chakula. Vilevile tuna garden kwa ajili ya maharusi, birthday party, hata mikutano, bila kusahau swimming pool kwa wale wanaopenda kuogelea. Kwa mawasiliano zaidi unaweza kutupigia simu nambari 0655 026 463 au 0763 812626. Unaweza pia kutembelea tovuti yetu www.atriumshotel.co.tz. Tupo Sinza, Afrika sana. The Atriums. We are here to serve you.